I think this example we have seen, right? Next is all cats are animals. I think this example also we have seen. Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. Some cats are black. Can you try this particular symbolization? Some cats are black. Can you just say this first? How to rewrite this sentence? There are some cats which are black. That way also we can say. So with this explanation, can you try symbolizing this?
There exists C of x tends to A of x.
What?
Ma'am, there exists x,
Mm-hmm.
C of x
Okay.
tends to A of x.
Why tends to?
Ma'am, because some cats, oh, sorry, they are black.
Okay,
Uh,
C of X denotes X is a cat, right?
X is a cat, and B of
Okay,
X
P
can be
of
that
X
it is a
denotes X is
black.
black. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? This cannot be the correct symbolization. This means if X is a cat, then X is a black. For that, see, this means that whenever X is a cat, it is a black. So this can be combined only with for all. So in the domain, if you take any value of X and C, and if it happens to be a cat, then it is black. Right? But here it is not given that way. Some cats are black. So what should be the change that we need to do here? Think and say.
X and B of X.
Okay, why and?
Like
Okay, I'll write and. Yes.
for those particular X, if
Okay.
it is
So,
both cat and black.
yes. Is she right? So there are some cats or there are some eggs which are cats and also which are black. So there are some X value in the domain which are cats and also they are black. Correct? Okay. Quantifier equivalence loss. See, for all x p of x, that means your universe of discourse is A, B, C, D, like that it goes. Some infinitely many values, I don't know. Don't ask me after ABC what you should have. If you want, you can have A1, B1, C1, D1, like that. You go for A2, B2, C2, like that. Something like that, you have infinitely many values here. I don't know, or even finitely many values. Some values are here, right? So for all x, P of x means what? This P of x is true for all the value of x in the universe of discourse. That is, P of x is true when x is equal to A. P of x is true when x equal to B. That means what? P of A is true, P of B is true, P of C is true. That means P of A and P of B and P of C and etc. All these things are true for all x, P of x means. Okay. Don't confuse this with the previous thing. Right? Here I'm fixing the universe of discourse. In the previous case, we are not fixing the universe of discourse. So I'm checking whenever x is a cat, then it is black, along with for all x. Okay, now here, there exists x p of x. That means there exists some x, some values of x belonging to this universe of discourse for which p of x is satisfied. That means either P of A is satisfied, P of B is satisfied, or P of C. I think you know very well. This statement is true even when all the values are true. P of A, P of B, P of C is all are true. Also, it is true. So, A union B means what? Either A is true, or B is true, or both A and B is true. So, similarly, P of A or P of B or P of C or something like this, if it is true, means Either this is true, or this is true, or even you can say these two are true, or these two are true, something like that. Minimum one value should be true among this, right? Okay, then next I'll proceed to the next. What is the negation of this? This is very important. You need to understand this. First, read the first statement. Can you prove that? Can you try understand that? For all x p of x. So p of x is true for every value of x in the universe of discourse. So they are saying that you cannot find even a single value of x for which p of x is not true. Not of there exists x. That means there does not exist a value of x such that not of p of x means what? P of x is not true. So not of there exists x, not of p of x. That means you cannot find even a single value of x for which p of x is not true. Is this clear? Hello? So can you just correlate De Morgan's law with this? What De Morgan law will use here? See, A union B is equivalent to A dash intersection B dash the whole dash. Correct? Is it right?
Yes, ma'am.
That. Now, what about the second statement? Can you please interpret that? I'm sorry. Second one. There exists x p of x. There exists x p of x means what? Not for all of x, not of p of x. See, whenever you say there exists p of x, what is your conclusion? Or can you say that there exist 5 values of x such that p of x is true? No, not that is not possible. So I can say that there exists at least one value of x for which p of x is not true. Okay, so how to interpret? So suppose if you want to say that in a different way, I can say that not for all value of x, p of x is false. That way also I can say, right? Saying at least for one value of x, p of x is true. Right? I'm saying at least one person in the class has got 100 marks. So I can say not everybody in the class have scored less than 100. Who has not scored 100? That means at least one person is there who has scored 100. So that's what here. See, not of for all x. That means not every person in the class who has or for which p of x is not true. That means what? At least one person is there for which p of x is true. That at least maybe either 1, 2, 3 or something more than that. Clear? Hello? Hello? Are you all listening?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
ma'am, is it possible to explain the meaning alone another time?
Both the meaning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Check. I'll ask you one thing again. So what do you mean by for all x p of x? I'll write a meaning for that first. P of x now. X has got distinction. X it belongs to the class students. Okay, all your class students. So now can you say what is the meaning of for all x p of x? X is a student in our class, this class, right? P of x denotes x has got distinction. So what is the meaning of for all x p of x?
All students got distinction.
All students have got distinction. All students have got distinction. Very good. So not of their existence, not of p of x means what? Not of there exists x means what? There does not exist a value of x such that p of x is not true. P of x is not true means what? X has not got distinction. So there does not exist a value of not of there exists x, not of p of x. That means, what is the meaning of this? You cannot even find a single value of x such that p of x is not true. That is, I cannot find even a single student in this class such that he has not got distinction. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about the second sentence? Can you use the same symbolization and say what is the meaning of there exists x p of x?
Student has got distinction in class.
Inama?
A student has got distinction.
A student. No, at least one student has got distinction in this class, right? There exists a student who has got distinction in this class. So what is the other way of saying in the negative way if you want to say? Not
every
for all x. Okay. Not every student in the class has not got the distinction. That means what? I cannot say that not every student in the class x such that p of x is not true. That means what? No, there exists at least one student. I cannot say that p of x is not true for all values of x. Okay. Is this clear now? Hello. Sorry, one thing I'll ask you. Suppose for all x, p of x is there. Suppose if I negate this, what could be your negation? What is the meaning of for or not of for all x, p of x? This you forget here. This is just equivalence. I'm asking you how to negate this. For all x, p of x means everybody has got distinction. When will that statement everybody has got distinction becomes false? So I'm saying all my students in my class have got distinction. So when will that statement becomes false? Can you think it in another way? For all x, p of x means all the students in my class have got distinction, right? So what should be the negation of that I'm asking? When will my statement become false? Think
When
about it.
all students
Yes.
did not get
Inama?
when p of x is false, like they did not get distinction.
P of x is true for what? All values of x are.
I mean, p of x is false for all values of x.
All values it needs. My statement will be false even if it is not true for a single. So I'm assuring that all my students in my class have got distinction. So even if a single student has not got distinction, so they will ask, right, you only said all your students have got distinction, but this student has not got distinction. So your statement is false. So what is not of for all x, p of x? Can you just think and say no? What is not of for all x?
For some value of x,
This
p
is
of
not true.
not.
Not true. So it is equivalent to there exists an x, not of p of x. Correct? There exists at least one x, right? Such that p of x is not true. Clear? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
But we are negating for there exists one x also. No?
That's what, yeah. Negation of this statement means when will this statement become false? What is the statement says? All the students in my class have got distinction. So even if one of the students has not got distinction, not will work on that, right? That is, you have negated it. That is the negation. So,
Ma'am, in this example, we are giving x belongs to class, no ma'am, but negation of there exists one x means we are saying like x is not belonging to our class itself. He is belonging to some other class and he's not got the distinction. That's what it's telling,
I'm
right?
specifically saying x is from my class. I have defined the universe of discourse. This is more important here. I am saying already I said x is in my class. If universe of discourse is well defined, there is no problem. If it is not defined, you have to do it. then I should not write like this. For all x p of x, I should write for all x. If x is a student in my class, then he has got distinction. This is the correct way of writing. But I said universe of discourse is defined. I'm saying all my values of x are coming from my class. I already defined. Suppose if you are not defined, then you need to check whether the value of x is coming from your class. Clear? Hello. Cherry. Okay. So another way of saying this here. Okay. I will take an empty slide. We'll write this and we can understand. 1 minute. See. What is for all x p of x? Just now we wrote, right? How do you write that? P of student 1. That is C1 has got distinction. P of C2. P of C3. Maybe our class has how much? How many students? 70 students. I'm writing P of. I should have all intersection here in between gap. Okay. So what is negation of for all x p of x now? It should be negation of this entire statement. P of C1, intersection P of C2, intersection etc. intersection P of C70. So can you apply De Morgan's law? Extended De Morgan's law. It is like A intersection B intersection C etc. something like this. So if you apply dash over that, what happens? A intersection B, the whole dash is A dash union B dash. A intersection B intersection C, the whole dash is A dash union B dash union C dash. So extend it. Here you have 3 terms. Here you have 70 terms. Apply this negation and tell me. This is your dash. Now apply and say. Not of P of C1, this and will become R. Not of P of C2 and will become R, etc. R, not of P of C. That means either the student C1 has not got distinction or C2 has not got distinction or till C70, any one of the student has not got distinction. Because of this only, this statement is negated. Negated means what? It is not true. Clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But my
I think,
only one doubt, ma'am.
yes, please.
Like in the previous slide, you are saying I got the question. I got what you are saying, ma'am. Like we are predefining like X belongs to our class, but in that it is coming like not there exists X. So we first see not there exists X. So we are saying like there is one person X who's belonging to our class. Then we are negating means it says that he is not belonging to our class, right? That's my doubt.
No, no,
Are you
no.
getting me, ma'am?
Not of their existence. No, what is the meaning here? There does not. Which statement? You are saying the first one or second? I'm not speaking about this statement. I'm saying something new. I'm not saying. I'm asking what is okay. Better. I'll write 1 minute. Maybe I'll repeat this. See? For all x p of x, if I negate, I am supposed to prove that it is nothing but there exists x not of p of x. Okay. So first let us take what is for all x p of x. What is the meaning of for all x p of x? Shall we take only 3 students so that we can understand? Suppose we assume that there are 3 students. X belongs to C1, C2, C3. 3 students. Assume that we have only 3 students in our class, right? Easy to understand. So P of x is true for all the values of x. So P of C1 and P of C2 and P of C3. So what is the negation of this? Not of this. Okay. So apply De Morgan's law, A intersection B intersection C the whole dash. So that is A dash union B dash union C dash. So what is the meaning of this? See here, if everything is connected with R, that is there exists x P of x, right? So here, there exists x, instead of P of x, you have not here. So not of P of x.
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Got it? So can you now do this? Can you say now what is not of there exists x P of x? Think about this sentence. Take some time. Please understand and then tell.
And for all x, P of x is false.
For all x, not of P of x. Correct? Huh? Shall we do in the same way and check whether it is correct? Not of there exists x P of x. What is the there exists x P of x means what? There exists at least one student in the class who has got distinction. So negating that means we're not what? No student in the class have got distinction. That is the meaning, right? That means for all the students in the class, x has not got distinction. Right? Shall we do this? The same way, what we did here, the same way we drive. First we
Ma'am?
take. Yes, ma'am, tell me.
Ma'am, can we not tell like not there exists px means some students have got 100, so the complement of it is that all students have not got 100.
Some students have got 100. Okay.
So complement would be all students have not got 100.
That is not complement. You are negating. 1 minute here. You are wrong. Logically, you are wrong. Some students have got 100. So even if all students have got 100, some students have got 100 will be true, right? You are saying that negation of some students have got 100 is all students. How can that be negation? Still my word is true. See, I'm saying some students in my class have got distinction. So if all students have got distinction, will that my statement will become false? No, it won't become false.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You should not say like that because A union B means what? There exists some only, right? It denotes some only.
Yes, ma'am.
Both can also get. I think you got this.
Yes.
You can understand this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I proceed now?
Yes,
That's what De Morgan's law. Just now I told you, right? We have seen this now. This also we have completed. See, there are two ways of writing this statement. See, translate the following sentence into predicate logic. Every student in this class has taken a course in Java. Okay. So you can do one thing here. You can treat this in two ways. First time you can say without using universe of discourse. We assume that no, universe of discourse is not, first time we'll assume universe of discourse is mentioned. See, all my students are coming from my class only. Okay, my class or in this class, right? X belongs to this class. So every student in this class, okay, we'll try with ourselves. We'll write the statement once again. every student in this class has taken a course in Java. Course in Java. So only one thing you can do, J of X, let it denote X has taken a course in Java. And C of X denotes X is a student in this class. Okay, so now I assume that universe of discourse is not defined. So I have to be more specific. I cannot write like this. If I write like this, what is the meaning? It is wrong. For all X, X has taken a course. I'm not specifying X is from this class or something like that. I'm not specifying. So here it is wrong. So what should be the correct statement? Universe of discourse is not defined. No? First case, UD not defined. How should I write this? Every student in this class has taken a course in Java. So if a particular student is in this class, then he has taken a course in Java. That is the interpretation of this particular statement. Correct? Every student in this class has taken a course in Java. So you need to check only once whether the particular student is in your class or in this class. If he is belonging to this particular class, then he has taken a course in Java. Now can you say how to symbolize this statement? Hello.
For all X,
For all X, good. Then
C of X implies J of X.
implies J of X. So whenever X is a student in this class, he has taken a course in Java. Okay. Now UD defined. That means it is X is in C of X only. In my class only. I need not check. Directly I can write. So how do you write this? Saying you need not check. They themselves already said all this students are taken from this class. So how do you symbolize? Yes, for all X, J of X. Correct. For all X, J of X. Correct. Okay. Okay. So we'll do one thing. We rewrite the. We'll take one more. Using every, we'll do this. See. Some students in this class have taken a course in Java, right? Using other quantifier, right? So first, UD not defined. Same symbolic representation you can use. C of X is a student in this class. J of X has taken a course in Java, right? So UD not defined. How do you write this? Carefully. Some students in this class have taken a course in Java. There are some students in this class who have taken a course in Java. So there are some values of X who are belonging to this class and also taken a course in Java. So more widely I've said now. Now can you symbolically write this? Assuming that universe of discourse is not defined. Use same C of X and J of X.
Ma'am, direct sum of X, C of X and J of X.
Very good. C of X and J of X. So there exists some X such that X is a student in this class and he has taken a course in Java. Good. Next step. UD defined. UD defined means what? Universe of discourse is defined. Okay, then. Yes. UD defined and you need not check. You need not say that he's a student from this class. That That specification is not needed. Without that, you have to say simply,
Ma'am, direct sum of x, g of x.
that's all, j of x. Okay? Good.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, tell me.
Ma'am, why here we did not write tends to, like C
Tends
of X,
to already, I told you, right? Tends to, see,
I mean implies, yes, ma'am.
implies only it will come. It, see, for all x, c of x tends to j of x. Now, what is the meaning of that? For all the values of x, whenever x is belonging to this particular class, whenever x is a student in this class, then directly I can say x has taken a course in Java. But for all x, for all you cannot use. If you use for all x, then meaning will not satisfy. Because if a student is, what is the meaning of every student in this class has taken in this class? I'm giving a specification. Every student in this class. That means if the value of x is belonging to this particular domain, then he has taken a course in Java. So there you have to use implies. But whenever you use there exists, you should not use implied. Simply and only. Because I'm particularly saying, right, there are some students in this class who have taken a course in Java. So there exists a value of x who is belonging to this class and also taken a course in Java. There you need to check only once. When x is in this class, okay, then j of x is true for all values of x. But here not like that. Only for some values of x it is true.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, va? So I think with more examples, then you will try to understand more. So every real numbers has a just the symbolization is up to us here. Whatever way we define, you can do. So every real number has an inverse with respect to addition. So for every real number x, shall we do like this? For every real number x, there exists a real number y. That's that. Y is the inverse of x. So what is the meaning of y is the inverse of x with respect to addition? X plus y is 0. Correct? Hello? Or even you can write like this, 1 minute. What I'll do is I of y comma x denotes y is the inverse of x, additive inverse of x. So how to write this statement? So for all x, for every value of x, you can find a value of y such that what is true? I of y comma x is true. So here we have not specified any universe of discourse. We are assuming that universe of discourse is well defined. Suppose if you want to say that universe of discourse is not there, how do you rewrite this statement? This statement. I have to say R of x denotes x is a real number. Then how this statement should be rewritten? You have to say something. See here, no checking of real numbers. Assuming that it is a real number and proceeding. We are proceeding in that way. If it is not there, how do you do that?
Then for all x,
Uh-huh.
x.
For all x,
Real number, comma. If x is a real number, then there exists a y such that I of y comma x. Is this right? Or
Yes,
even
ma'am.
you can put this there exists y outside also. I think that doesn't mean it. Problem is gone. Okay. Is this clear? My confusion? Don't worry, we'll do more problems because second module you have to understand a lot. Second sentence you read. Every real number except 0 has a multiplicative inverse. That means for every non-zero real number x, you just interpret them. For every non-zero real number x, there exists a y such that x into y is 1. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. See whether this you can understand this sentence. This one. Here they have said let the domain be real numbers. See this. That means for all x not equal to 0, even this is not needed. You can do one thing. Let u denote set of all real numbers minus 0. Minus 0 and what is the meaning of this? Hello?
All real numbers except 0.
Non-zero real numbers, right? So in this case, if your u is this way, if you are defining, directly you can write for all x, there exists a y such that x star y is 1. Huh? If you don't like x star y equal to 1, what I have done here? 1 minute, I pressed something wrong. Sorry. If you don't like x star y is equal to 1, you can write. M of y comma x denotes y is the multiplicative inverse of in x. That way you can. Everybody understands, right? What do you mean by multiplicative inverse? In general multiplication, this y into x is 1. Clear? Hello? So in this case, how do you write this for all x? There exists y, m of y comma x. Instead of writing this way, it is up to you whether you can write like this or write like this. Symbolization is left to us. It is up to us to decide. But I feel this is better. Second one, so that you can use the laws properly. Okay. So what is the time now?
10:30, ma'am.
10:30.
1.
So actually, I'll leave you 5:30 here because I have a meeting now. Don't worry.